Hello everyone, my name is Doug, I'm happy you're here, and welcome to part 9 of Let's Play Final Fantasy. So, in the last part, we fought the Archfiend of Earth, and we got back the Earth Crystal. You see it there down at the bottom? We got it. And it's been a hot sec since I've done one of these videos, so I am really happy to be back. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head to the inn and I'm going to start healing. Because I am still very torn and beaten from that fight and the journey back. So basically, now that we've beaten the first of the elemental archfiends, we're going to be starting the quest to get one of the coolest things of Final Fantasy and one of like the mainstays of it that like Final Fantasy is like known for, and that's the airship, which it's similar to the boat, but like the name suggests, you use it to fly in the air. So I'm also going to be picking up a few items here so I can so I'm a little more better equipped to handle some of the stuff coming up, because it's actually going to get quite hard. In the next dungeon we have up is probably considered one of the hardest in the game, just in terms of like the difficulty jumping up and everything. So we're gonna finally buy that knight's armor that I pointed out earlier, and like all that crazy fighting and grinding we've done, especially that very long hallway, it's gonna pay off because like we still have a ton of gil left. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna equip Sid with that knight's armor. It's gonna increase his defense to 47. So like there's gonna be very few things that can hit him that will hurt, with the exception of like, you know, one-shot moves that like are insta-kills. And his evasiveness goes down only slightly, but you know, even when he takes damage, he's not gonna be taking anything. So on top of that, I do want to pick up some miscellaneous items, if I can remember where the item shop is, which I think there is one. I kind of forgot if there is or not. Ooh. Okay, there is no item shop. My bad, but I think I'll be okay since it's just going to be some exploration. Now, I'll be picking up supplies when we get to the next town area. Alright, so now the plan is basically that we're going to be heading south around and take the turn around the corner of the Cavern of Earth right there, and from there we're going to be basically going west until we reach an area called Crescent Lake. There's going to be like a lot of cool gear to get there and stuff, but until then it's just going to be, you know, what I normally do when we're on the boat and we're going someplace, just, you know, talking and stuff. So, I mean, I guess, update on my life. I think I've mentioned that I'm currently in the middle of summer, so that's been a lot of fun. I just went on a camping trip recently. I was really sick for a lot of that trip, which really sucks because, like, I do a lot of talking, and like it was like sickness in like my throat, so like I couldn't do like anything involving like my throat, so like I couldn't, like, you know, do videos at all, which, you know, is something like of like a very relaxing hobby of mine. And it was like, wow, like you don't understand how important something is to you until like you can't do it anymore. Sorry, I'm just checking the map right now because it's a bit of a interesting thing to get to the next area. I'm a little dicey on how to get there again. Okay, yep. I went north when we're supposed to go south. Crescent Lake is going to be... Yep. Alright, so basically, if you're doing this on your own, you're going to want to go to this dock right here on the map. And you're going to want to start going south, because that's where Crescent Lake is. Now, like I was saying, you don't like. I didn't realize how important, like, my voice wasn't taking care of it. Really was until I like lost the ability to use it. I don't remember if these guys are particularly dangerous or not, so I think I'm gonna just play it safe and use some of my bigger spells. Okay, yeah, it's not too bad. Like, those extra levels really help, I think, just beefing up the characters so that way they can take a hit if need be. Still, that being said, I want to be careful and I don't want to die to just some random encounter. But we got a lot of XP and gil from that, and it looks like Walt, Monty, and Lily gained a level, so awesome. Gonna check the map again, just to see. Yep, okay, we are like right there. Ooh, Troll and Minotaur. I think I fought this in like that bonus episode I did where I showed off the peninsula power leveling and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I went on that camping trip, trying to stay focused, stay on topic, and camping trip was a lot of fun. I live in Michigan, so like there's a lot of like campgrounds and woods and stuff, and it's like easier than you think to find a good spot, and it's just nice just being out and enjoying the sun, and I am very lucky that I was able to do that. Like, it's something I hope everyone can just get the chance to do and enjoy, just sitting out in the sun, existing. And like me, like, even though I was really sick and I couldn't do a whole lot, I was with my friends and I got to read a really, really great book. Like, I've been reading Patrick Rothfuss's series, The Killer Chronicles. I just finished rereading his first book, The Name of the Wind. Like, he has 2 books out now in the trilogy of the Killer Chronicles. Name of the Wind is the first one. The second is The Wise Man's Fear. And, like, ooh, let's use Poison now because I wasted gil on that. But anyways, Killer Chronicles, really fantastic book. Patrick Rothfuss is like an amazing writer. He writes fantasy in such an amazing way where he makes the characters feel like humans, like the way they talk and think. It's relatable. Like, it's a fantasy series, obviously, so it's like they'll talk about things that aren't on the whole stuff that we can totally relate to, but like the stuff that we can, he makes it work. And a lot of other things, it's just like, it's like a really good writer can make something that you cannot relate to normally, that has never happened to you, or like not even remotely close to your life, but manages to make it something that like you feel and it resonates with you. And Patrick Rothfuss is just a fantastic writer, and I love his books. And if you get the chance, I would recommend you read them. The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear in particular are like my 2 favorite books, and like they're very long, and I would recommend you read them, though. They're definitely worth your time. Buying the books can be expensive. Books are kind of expensive in this day and age. I mean, at least from the perspective of a young college student like me, they are very expensive. But not as expensive as college textbooks, obviously, but still, if not, go to your local library. Like, it is such an amazing like resource, and the little nerd in me is coming out, but seriously, like, libraries are just so cool. Like, they're just so quiet and calm, and librarians are just so helpful and nice, and talking to people about books is great, which is ironic because reading is typically a very solitary experience. Alright, so gonna buy me some items. Well, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up a few Phoenix Downs. So like, I could conceivably get 99 Phoenix Downs, and that would only cut me down halfway, but I'm not gonna need that many, so I think I'm going to I'm gonna go with 40 just to be overly cautious. I definitely want ethers though, and I think 50 ethers is gonna suit me just fine. I feel like the potions and high potions just kind of get like in every game, they kind of become a little outclassed, outdated. What's the word? Like kind of unnecessary. And considering the fact that I just bought 50 ethers, like I'm gonna be able to use the heal spells a lot more often. So I think I'm good on that. I am gonna pick up. I am gonna say no. 17 tents. Give us 20, so that way if we're out in the field and someone goes down, I can revive them, and like we just have like a nice little buffer room. So yep, we are in Crescent Lake. So basically, Crescent Lake's whole little gimmick is it really likes mithril stuff. So I think this is, yep, this is the temple slash church. I don't know if I talked about the original game at all, but like in the original game, like they intended for the temples to be churches, and I think it had something to do with just like ratings, like the rating of the game itself, like E, teen, M, that sort of thing, or just like, you know, like the actual like shipping overseas or something else. But basically, like they had to change it from church to temple to avoid any religious connotations. Alright, so here we have the Mithril Mail, which, if we hadn't got the new armor for Sid, I think would actually have been better than what he had equipped. But Walt can use it. There's the Mithril Shield, which is better than what we currently have equipped. I can get a buckler for Walt. The Mithril Helm is going to be good for Sid, and the Mithril Gloves. So we're going to be buying one of everything. All that gil's just going to go bye-bye. But it's okay. Having a bunch of money in games, it's good just so that way I can, you know, I like that, just, you know, finding new stuff and then just being able to buy it. So let's get that Mithril Shield. We're going to put on the Mithril Helm. We already got the Knight's Armor, and we're going to give you the Mithril Gloves. And we're going to give you that Buckler. And that's going to be it for the equipment here. I think I'm going to sell all my excess equipment once I'm done buying all the new stuff. So Mithril Knife's not going to be good for anyone. They can both use the Mithril Sword, so that's cool. We already got a Mithril Hammer, and why did I buy 2 Mithril Swords? Why am I a dummy? Oh well. Okay, where are you, you second sword? Mithril Sword. And boom. Not quite the same that we had, but still something, and we're going to be equipping that Mithril Axe. You're going to be getting that Mithril Sword. And yep, everything seems good. Yep, alright. So, I'm going to configure my items quickly, and I'm going to be selling all my extra weapons with the exceptions of my specialized swords, because like the way I see it is that like the Werebuster and Coral Sword are actually going to be useful in a dungeon or two, and I'm just going to have them on hand in case I need them. If I find out that I don't need them for the dungeons, that like the damage is already good enough, I'm going to be selling them later. But, like, I totally forgot about like selling these swords, because like I always kind of just like it's just one of those things I would do like playing by myself. Like it's, oh yeah, sell the excess items that you don't need. It's such a typical thing to do. But like when I'm playing like Let's Playing like this, I just totally forget to do that, because it's like, oh hey, I have to be effective with my time, and it's like I'm not good with my time normally, so like I just keep like thinking, okay, I cannot waste time and sell stuff. But I've actually done some extensive planning ahead this time, and I'm not at all worried about running out of time. So you're gonna sit here and hopefully watch me sell stuff, and yeah, enjoy it. This is such good quality YouTube content. Turns out I had a lot of extra mithril stuff already, and I probably should not have wasted the gil on it, but... yeah, mistakes happen. Boop boop. I really should check to see how much of this stuff I still had, and that's it. Cool. Awesome. Now, we have, 2, magic stores here. The, first one is going to be the White Magic Store, and it will have available Stona, Exit, Protectora, and Invisora. Or Protera, actually. Wow. So, basically, these spells are going to be useful. I'm going to get Stona for Lily, simply because, it can be really useful, against those stone-affecting enemies. It would have been more useful last dungeon, but it's going to be useful going forward because the way to get around the game gets around like your high defense if like you bought that knight's armor is going to be like one-hit kill moves. So the spell Exit can only be used by the Red Wizard and White Wizard, which are the advanced classes of the Red Mage and White Mage respectively, so we can't get that yet. I'm going to get Protera on Lily. And I'm also just going to give her Invisora so that way we can have it in case we need it. I don't usually use the evasion spells. They didn't work for me all that well in my initial playthrough, but who knows, maybe I might be in a situation where I need to. So, this is a case of the Red Mage just not being as useful as the Black Mage, and he cannot get Thundaga, the Tier 3 Thunder spell, until he is upgraded to the Red Wizard. So we're going to have to come back for this spell. He still has Firaga, and I'm not too worried about it, but it's still kind of one of those unfortunate things that occurs. He can't get Quake or Death. Both of them are kind of like insta-kill moves, and they're very, very unreliable, so I'm not the biggest fan of them. And he also can't get Stun. So, yep. This is one of those instances where his Jack-of-all-trades, Master of None thing really starts to negatively affect him. And there's one more thing I wanted to get in Crescent Lake, but I need to remember where it is. And I should probably talk to the NPCs. My husband is always traveling, and in the little time he is home, he sleeps all day. I think he needs to get his priorities straight. That's a very, I guess, normal and tame thing to say. Last place I went to, you know, they had a vampire attack and ruin everything. Zzz. Zzz. You see a gravestone? You see a gravestone? Okay. Doop doop. Alright. I assume it's done. Yep. Okay, this is where the sages are. Okay, yep. We're going to be talking to these guys here. So let's talk with this one. Obviously the most important one. I am Lucan. I see a cycle of wrath, a dim light guided by destiny, that about which our entire future revolves. I wonder what he means by that. So basically, to advance in the plot, we are going to be wanting to talk to one of these guys. They'll have actually something that we need. Well done, warriors of light. You have defeated the Fiend of Earth and restored the crystal's light. Sadly, this has drawn the notice of the Fiend of Fire, who was not to have stirred for another 200 years. Take this canoe and go face the Fiend in Mount Golg. And it's this guy who we're supposed to talk to when we get the canoe. Now, I'm going to take a little detour and talk to all the other sages because they'll probably provide some useful information that helps flesh out the world. Sort of like that blue guy down there. The volcano, Mount Golg, rises to the west of this town. The fiend of fire long slept within its passages, but she has awoken 200 years before her time. Vanquish her before the world is consumed in flame. I mean, I mention this like every video, but I really love the soundtrack for the village. It's just so peaceful and relaxing, and I hope you can enjoy that over me voice acting. Bring the light of the 4 crystals to us. Warriors of light, only you can do this. When all 4 crystals shine once more, return here. All will be revealed. Where the fiend of fire passes, all is cast into flame. The fiend of earth rots the land. The 4 fiends plot to rule the world, both past and present. The fiend of wind appeared 400 years ago, followed by 200 years later by the fiend of water. Together they laid waste to the civilization in the north. The source of the 4 forces are the altars scattered throughout the world. Defeat the fiends that have taken root there and lift up the crystal you carry to the altar. The crystal should return its brilliance, regain its brilliance. Fire, earth, water, air, these are the 4 forces that compose our world. And only the Avatar is the master of all 4. 4 great crystals exist in this world. The light that once shone within them is now lost. The 4 fiends of chaos block the power of the crystals, claiming it as their own. 12 sages are we, guided to this land by the stars and prophecy. And that's all that. And there's that weird thing popping up again. Oops. There, it's gone. Okay, cool. So, sorry for the little detour. It's something I really like about Final Fantasy 1. I mentioned it before, but it's just like talking to the NPCs really helps flesh out the world and the backstory and everything. And it's something that, if you aren't paying attention, you would never know. So, yep, this is a canoe. Basically, if you come up to these light blue sections of sea, of water, you can canoe through them, and it will allow you to cross those areas. There were some previous areas that I think we missed before, or that we just couldn't get through because of not having the canoe, but it's now another option that is open. So basically the rest of this video is just going to be us reaching the next dungeon. So yeah, like I mentioned, I've been sick the past couple days, and so this is the first day where I'm really feeling better, and I feel like the sickness is finally getting out of me. And it feels really good to get back to this. Like, you know, I had like that little kind of monologue a few episodes ago where, you know, I was talking about how great it is that, you know, creating and doing stuff is, and just how, like, you know, everything's art in a way. And, you know, to, you know, kind of keep with that whole, you know, pretentious thing I was kind of saying, like, I really do appreciate just being able to do something creative, even if it's just something as simple as sharing, you know, a video game that I really love. Like, it feels very good doing something like that. And I forgot that Monty was poisoned, so we're going to heal him up right quick. Here we go. Poison up. And he is no longer poisoned. And just so it's done, I'm going to quickly, yep. So now I just got to remember where the entrance is to the maze area. Just going to consult my handy dandy map very quickly. Okay. Yep, so the area that I went to initially the first time is actually where we're going to be heading. But yeah, so kind of going back to that whole, you know, it feels good to get back into doing stuff. Like, I guess guys, if you're watching this and you're paying attention, I'd encourage you, pick up that thing that you've always wanted to do, or that project or thing that you've kind of put down and just haven't picked up again. Like, doing it is hard and it can be kind of scary, but just that feeling you feel when you're finally back at it again is like one of the best ever, like, no lie. Okay, so now this is the part where it gets a little bit confusing, but I have a map. So if you're playing on your own, I would recommend you pay attention and watch me do this. I will link a map in the description, so that way if you really want it, you can see how to do this. Basically, there is like no real benefits to going to any of the other areas. Like, it's not like in other more modern RPGs where you basically can find like something really cool off the beaten path. It's one of the unfortunate things about this being such an older game, and the original game being made in a time when like they couldn't put a whole lot. Like, there isn't some secret area in the overworld in a lot of places in this game, so like you can't, like, there's like that little offshoot there to the left where like in another game you probably would just be able to go there and explore, and like there'd be some cool cave or something, but unfortunately that isn't in this game. Like, there's that cave off to the right, but that's one of those bonus dungeons I was talking about that's like ladder. But anyways, just me complaining about the game having a little less extra stuff than I would like. But yeah, to go back to that other thing I was talking about before I started the whole route to this next dungeon is, just I would recommend pick up that little hobby or project that you were working on that you didn't like. It's hard to start something again, but like just doing it again feels amazing, and it's always good just to feel like you've accomplished something, because at the end of the day, the best validation comes from yourself. So now we have made our way to the Cavern of Ice. Now the Cavern of Ice is going to be a bit of a tough dungeon. It's considered to be the point in the game when the difficulty really steps up. You're really kind of pushed to your limit, and that's why I ended up buying so many Phoenix Downs and Ethers, because I have a feeling we're going to need them. So I'm going to be cutting off the episode here. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. And like always, I've been Doug, and I'm happy you're here. Have a good one.